you need to learn how to lift as a life skill. The same way you learn how to swim as a life skill, and you learn how to possibly protect yourself, or at the very least, being able to see danger and run away. That's also a life skill. Hey guys, thanks for showing up. Today we're going to talk about lifting as a life skill. Now there's a lot of negative stereotype attached to gyms, to lifting, right? If you tell people, oh, I like to deadlift and squat and do that stuff, they probably have the negative idea, the negative stereotype attached to that image. And I think that's really unfair because what people are doing, they're lifting as a life skill. And we need to understand that if you're gonna ask your children or your brother or your sister or anybody in your family, if you're gonna ask them to help you pack groceries, help you pick up groceries, go and shovel snow, if you're asking anybody that you know to do those rather elementary things, lifting weights as a life skill will help them in all avenues. If you're gonna go out and shovel snow and you have no idea how to handle weights or handle a load, I mean, that'll be as foreign to you as, like, I don't know, cooking or boating if you've never been boating. You're gonna make all the wrong mistakes, you're likely to get injured, there's a whole bunch of stuff happening. But if you have even just a cursory idea of how to lift weights, meaning feet directly under the shoulders, keep your back straight, don't twist with the back, a very elementary level of learning how to lift weights, you will be able to translate that into picking up water softener salt, picking up cases of water, packing groceries, carrying groceries, shoveling snow. If you've ever gone outside, if you look outside on a big snowfall day and you see someone twisting all the wrong ways, you're like, Jesus, this poor guy, he will not be walking tomorrow. You're not gonna say anything to him, but you know. And I can guarantee, he does not know how to lift in the gym. Because why would he be lifting with a staggered foot stance? Why would he be twisting through the low back? So if you have to shovel snow, if you have to do any of those ordinary chores that require you to lift stuff, lifting weights as a skill will help you with all of those other things. To tell a personal story, we were at work and we were moving file cabinets. Now, it didn't have much to do with the physical prowess of us that were moving these file cabinets. It all had to do with the familiarity of how to pick up a kind of a wonky load, okay? So these file cabinets had one of those, they had a steel plate at the back, which prevents the file cabinet from tipping over if you load it with papers. So the back of it, empty, was considerably heavier than the front. And as I'm just a curious, avid person, I figured out how to pick mine up, boom, got it, and got it up the steps in my own way. And I noticed some of my other colleagues, they were really struggling with picking up the weights. Now, I'm not saying this with hubris. I'm saying we were all capable of lifting those file cabinets. The difference was they kind of didn't know how to approach it. They really had to analyze and like, and maybe try a couple of different ways. Whereas I was like, okay, let me figure out where's the load. Oh, it's back heavy. Okay, so let's just get that here, load my hips, and we're good to go. And it was a real eye-opening experience for me to see people doing the same task, but a couple of people being utterly clueless, not knowing how to do it. And that made the job much more difficult. And I revert back to this idea. If they had had a cursory level of understanding of how to lift things and where leverage goes and how to position your body on top of a load and how to do it safely, they would have been so easy and they would have done it just as quick. So I know this idea was kind of a loaded idea, but I want to get this idea out there and start breaking down that stereotype of, well, lifting, I don't really have aspirations to go to the gym. I don't really need to do that. I think you need to learn how to lift as a life skill. The same way you learn how to swim as a life skill, and you learn how to possibly protect yourself, or at the very least, being able to see danger and run away. That's also a life skill. Maybe those two videos are something that I'll talk about in another video. Anyways, thanks for showing up, guys.